I'm super excited about today's sponsor. They've sponsored the podcast before, and this is a topic I'm super passionate about. I fear that us as girls struggle with PMS far more than we should, and we really shouldn't. I truly get the worst PMS symptoms. My boobs are sensitive, my face breaks out, my sugar controllings are out of whack. I feel like I'm just a bottomless pit. My mood is not the vibe, and estro control has been super helpful in helping manage those PMS symptoms and making that time of the month a lot more enjoyable. Estro Control is a formula developed by Happy Mammoth, a supplement company dedicated to making women's lives easier. Say no more. Estro Control contains science-backed herbal extracts that help support hormonal health, especially if you are someone like myself who struggles with PMS. It was created to help women feel like themselves all month long and to not struggle with the feelings PMS can cause. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code Alana at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use the code Alana for 15% off today.
Why do so many dogs die before their time? Actress and dog activist Katherine Heigl, who's helped save over 16,000 dogs through her foundation, says she's seeing more issues with dogs' joints, odors, and health than ever before. And after doing a ton of research, she feels there's one place we can look to support any dog's health: their food. So she decided to create something she could actually feel good about feeding her dogs. Superfood Complete by Badlands Ranch is made with over 30 of the healthiest ingredients on the planet, including premium protein-packed beef, nutrient-dense organ meat, heart-healthy salmon, gut-healthy vegetables, and several superfoods vital to your dog's health. And because high-heat cooking can add unhealthy things to your dog's food, Superfood Complete uses air drying, so it gets cooked low and slow. This means it has the convenience of kibble, but the health benefits of whole foods. If you want your dog to experience all these incredible benefits, go to badlandsranch.com/save50 right now to get up to 50% off your order and a 90-day money-back guarantee. Again, that's BADLANDS ranch.com/save50 today. All dogs are unique. Your dog's results can and will vary.
Well. Shopping for a car?
Yep, Carvana made financing a car as smooth as can be.
Oh, yeah?
I got pre-qualified instantly and had real terms personalized just for me.
Doesn't get much smoother than that.
Well, I got to browse thousands of car options on Carvana, all within my budget.
Doesn't get much smoother than that.
It does. I actually wanted a car that seemed out of my range, but I was able to add a cosigner and found my dream car.
It doesn't get much...
Oh, it gets smoother. It's getting delivered tomorrow.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get pre-qualified today.
Celebrity voice impersonation not an endorsement. Why go to a single furniture store when you can go to Big Sandy Superstore? Shop and compare America's top 5 mattress brands, plus Nectar and Purple. And choose from over 22,000 in-stock appliances from the top brands at the guaranteed lowest price. Or furnish the room of your dreams with a large selection of American-built furniture. With financing plans for just about anyone, there's nowhere else quite like it. Big Sandy Superstore.
The following podcast is a Green Fresh Media production.
Hello, good morning, angels, and welcome back to Morning Ray. I'm your host, Lan or Alana, and my goal for today is to not say I know I just said it, but I was listening over to last week's episode and I said a lot, and I've been noticing it in my YouTube videos and it's pissing me off, and I'm sorry if it's pissing you off too. So we're on this journey to not say so much. I feel that I've really accomplished not saying like so much, at least when I'm recording by myself. We need to work on that when it comes to recording in a conversation with someone, especially if they're saying like a lot. I feel that I pick it up from them and go back into old habits. But we're going to try to pause and take a breath instead of saying or but or but so, because I say that a lot. And I'm sorry if I just ruined my old episodes for you, because if you go back and listen, now you're going to hear all the if you weren't already. So I apologize for that, and please don't hate me for that. But we are going to be our own speech therapist today. I feel like I've been pretty successful so far. If you listen to my old episodes, I feel that I've gotten a lot better at speaking. Who would have thought me, Alana, at 22 years old, is figuring out how to speak more properly and adequately and be more precise and smooth in a way with my words and my pronunciation and my language. I don't know the proper terminology, but Kate Pope, who's my friend and the host of Conversations with Kate, she said I've gotten a lot smoother. She was doing some deep stalking of the pod, and I think we're on a good path. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I've been pretty good at not saying so far. So let's see how that goes, especially with talking and rambling on in the pod, because I kind of like these sporadic, fun, in the moment, spontaneous podcast episodes. I think it shows more of my personality and me, and I feel like we're more on FaceTime. It's more of a FaceTime vibe. So here we are. Happy Monday. It's Wednesday when I'm recording this, Wednesday, May 11th in the evening. And I think this episode is going to be a real treat. I feel like it's going to be the perfect timing for many of you. And I'm sure you saw the title. It was called Growing Pains. I believe that's what I'm going to title it. Growing Pains or Seasons of Transition. I feel like Growing Pains is cooler, so we're probably going to do Growing Pains. Anyhow, I felt like this would be the perfect episode to discuss now because not only am I going through a period of growth, especially with my move. I move on Monday, sorry. So when you're listening to this, I am in the process of moving. If you're listening to this in the morning or even in the afternoon, whenever you listen, I'm moving on the 16th, which is really exciting. I'm moving to a 1-bedroom. But anyhow, wrapping it back in, I feel like it's a perfect episode. Sorry. Speaking of moving, my realtor just messaged me. Okay, we're back. My apologies. We shall now focus. Anyhow, I feel that this episode is perfect timing for me because I'm going through a period of growth, but I also think it will be perfect timing for many of you, as I know quite a few of you are either in the process of graduating high school soon, or you are graduating university and going into the quote unquote real world, searching for jobs and going on to that next stage in your life. Or maybe you may be seeking out a new job, or you're moving or whatnot. I feel like spring is a big period of growth, a season of transition for many, no matter what area or stage of life you're in. Mercury is also retrograde right now. FYI, it's not Mercury is in retrograde, it's Mercury is retrograde, if you want the proper terminology. But now I feel like I'm saying but a lot. We're going to get better at this, okay? We're on this journey to speaking better and stop using filler words more often. So, and here I am saying so now. I know I can still use those words, but you get the gist. We're going to try do this. Apparently, there's this thing that someone did. I don't remember. I think I saw it on TikTok. Anyways, what you can expect from this episode is obviously my weekly intention tip of the week, current babes, and then discussing my own experiences with growing pains throughout various areas in my life in the past and now in the current, and how I navigate that as a young female and how I navigated it when I was younger versus now, and just different ways to look at it and how to flip your mindset and reframe and all of that. So let's also, it's just been an emotional few hours. We had a little bit of a family emergency, but everything's okay, I promise. So my head is a bit in a whirlwind, but I really want to get this episode out for you guys because like I said, I think it's perfect timing and it's something that I wish I had right now. So let's get into our weekly intention. My weekly intention is to unpack everything as soon as I can to really allow me to settle into my new place. I really am a strong believer of a clear space equals a clear mind, and I don't want to move into my new space and for it to be super cluttered and a mess and to not know where anything is. So that is my intention for the week, is to settle in as fast as possible in terms of organization, unpacking, etc. And then my tip of the week is that whenever you are trying to get back into a routine, just like jumpstart into it and motivate yourself and find something exciting about that routine so that you are excited and motivated to set it. I recently got back into my routine finally after LA and everything and being in a slump, and it feels really, really good. And so my goal is to continue that into my new apartment, and maybe that routine looks a little bit different, but I really want to stay disciplined with myself and motivated to keep this routine going, because I know that when I show up for myself in my routine, my mental health and my physical health are just so much better. They go up exponentially. And when I don't, they decline exponentially. I don't know if it would be exponentially. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But they go down significantly, we shall say. And that's why I'm such a huge advocate for routines, and obviously it's healthy to be flexible with them, but having that stable routine in place to fall to is a game changer and can really change everything. And when I didn't have a routine and when I didn't have self-care practices, I was at my lowest. And it's these routines that have continued time and time again to pull me out of low points in my life, whether it be low points in terms of being highly anxious or having really poor body image or feeling lonely or feeling not worthy. So lean into those routines, be disciplined, find something that excites you about those routines, whether you need a challenge to excite you. Right now I'm doing my friend Kayla McManus's May walking challenge. It's encouraging me to walk 10K steps a day. And with that, it's encouraging me to get outside more, to get more fresh air, to get more no screen time, like to put my phone away and to be really present. So I really appreciate that. My current favorites. I feel like I spoke about this before, but tulips. I'm obsessed with tulips. Although my tulips that I bought last, I think it was on Sunday I bought them, or Saturday, the one flopped instantly and the other ones are kind of already done, which is kind of sad. We're just going to laugh every time that happens. But I love tulips. They're awesome. I love white tulips. And lately I've been into pink and the orange and yellow ones that are multicolored. I think they just look really cool. But white tulips are top tier favorite for sure. I am loving spring cleaning. Obviously, I'm decluttering before I'm packing, and it feels really good to get rid of, to separate the things that I don't want anymore, to figure out what needs to be thrown out, what can be donated, what can be offered to friends. And it just feels really good. And it feels really good to give back to the community and to those who need and who are less fortunate than me. And then to also give to my friends. It feels really good to share. Being super busy can make it really easy to fall into a dinner time recipe rut, or even with your lunches. Any meal, honestly, can get you into a rut, especially with a busy schedule this fall. You can keep mealtime exciting with over 40 recipes to choose from every single week, so there's always something delicious to discover with HelloFresh. It's truly a no-brainer. It does all the shopping and meal planning for you. Ingredients arrive at your doorstep, pre-proportioned and ready to cook, along with pictured step-by-step recipe cards. It's never been easier. I personally love HelloFresh as a way to get exposure to new recipes, make my life a bit easier as a busy 20-year-old in the city. And I love that it's worry-free, it's super easy, it's convenient, and gets delivered straight to my door. Go to hellofresh.com/50ray and use code 50ray for 50% off plus free shipping. That's hellofresh.com/50RAE and use code 50ray 50RAE for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit, and thank you for sponsoring today's episode of Morning Ray.
Celebrity voice impersonation not an endorsement. Why go to a single furniture store when you can go to Big Sandy Superstore? Shop and compare America's top 5 mattress brands, plus Nectar and Purple. And choose from over 22,000 in-stock appliances from the top brands at the guaranteed lowest price. Or furnish the room of your dreams with a large selection of American-built furniture. With financing plans for just about anyone, there's nowhere else quite like it. Big Sandy Superstore.
And be gracious with things that I have, because obviously I can only use so much of the stuff that I'm sent. I try to be really conscious of what I'm accepting in PR, but sometimes it just gets sent to me. Sometimes I forget about what I have. So to be able to give it to someone who will appreciate it is really, really rewarding. I also have gotten back into my morning runs. If you had been following me on TikTok and Instagram last summer around this time, I started running. It's actually my 1-year anniversary of my first run, which was May 14th, 2021. So it will be 2 days past when you're listening to this, or maybe a little bit longer, depending when in the week you're listening to the pod. But it's really exciting, and it feels really good to be back into my runs. I've been running in the morning before work. I wake up at 6:30, run. I'm out the door by 7:15. I've been doing 5K. Today I did 3K, and I have a whole episode on running and how I got into running and how I built up my stamina and everything. So if you're curious about getting into running, definitely go check that out. It's called Hot Girls Run. I'll have it linked in the show notes of this episode, so you can just click that link and quickly access it. But I think that would be really helpful for you guys. I've really, really been loving the morning runs, both for the physical and mental health. I got really inspired to run again when I was looking at my old TikToks of my running fit checks and running morning routines, and then going through the Nike Run Club app, which is what I use to track all my runs and the kilometers on my shoes, the mileage on my shoes. I have a few different pairs of shoes. It just got me really excited, and because I could see how often I used to run. It used to be 3 times a week, 4 times a week, every other day. It started with 2 runs a week. I think it was Wednesdays and Saturdays that I was running. And then I built up to more. And it just got me really motivated. And this is usually what happens when I get motivated to kind of do a more drastic change in my routine in terms of exercise. So I'm super motivated and been loving that a lot. And I'm really excited to see where this running journey takes me. I did want to run a 10K at some point this year, but I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't have the stamina right now after having COVID again. So I'm getting back into it, and running for me is just fun. But my goal is to be able to run 10K myself by the end of summer. Last summer was 5K in 25 minutes. So I'd like to be able to do 10. Okay. Sorry if you heard my Slack and it triggered you by any means. I had a Slack notification. But let's get into the bulk of the episode and what I mean by growing pains and transitional seasons and all of it. So growing pains is something, it's not like the physical thing that you have when you're younger, which, by the way, I used to get them so bad in my ankles, my shins, and my knees. It was terrible. Let me know on DMs if you used to have really bad growing pains. I think I just unlocked a memory, but they were terrible. I got such bad ones. I remember the summer after grade 6, I went to South Africa because that's where my parents are from. I went to South Africa and I had such bad growing pains while I was there. I was there for 3 weeks. And I remember coming back and the countertops just seemed so much lower because I had grown, I think, 2 inches or something, or 3 inches
in the time that has gone, which is absolutely fucked. Like, kind of cool how humans grow. My mind's going there right now. But you used to have really bad growing pains. But I feel like I am an expert on speaking on this matter because I have experienced quite a few areas in my life and periods of time where I went through these growing pains and transitional seasons into becoming who I am now. And if I'm going to pinpoint them, it was definitely second semester of grade 12 going into first semester of university. And then the end of second year, so sophomore year in university. And then I want to say in third year or junior year, whichever you call it, in third year, junior year, definitely leading up to the pandemic, because that was 2019 to 2020. So leading up to the pandemic, I went through a small growing pain or transitional season because that's when I transferred schools. But I want to say I feel like I've had so many in the past years. They just keep happening, and some are more uncomfortable than others. I feel like right now it's a bit uncomfortable again, but definitely not the most uncomfortable. I feel that I'm pretty capable at navigating it right now. There's just a lot going on in my life. But I would say the two most recent were since moving out. So August until I'd say November was one, and then before that whole year. Honestly, the whole pandemic itself has been a huge season of growth for me, and it's a season of growth that I don't regret at all, and I'm so glad it happened to me. And even though it sucked at certain points, I feel that I'm so different than the girl at the beginning of the pandemic. And you've grown when you look back at old photos or videos, or if you have a social media presence, your old content, and you feel cringy looking at it. And it kind of just gives you the ick. And as much as it kind of like sucks that it gives you the ick, I think it's pretty awesome because that means that you've grown as a person and you evolved. And it's awesome as humans that we can evolve and kind of rebrand ourselves and become this new person and become more confident and really grow into ourselves and have higher self-esteem. And that is highly attributed to therapy, self-work, and time to let yourself grow. But I am forever thankful and grateful for my periods of growth, my transitional seasons, my growing pains, no matter how much they sucked during it. Because sometimes it can feel really lonely and it can be really scary and daunting, and you don't really know what the future holds. And so that can lead to a lot of anxiety. I remember in the months leading up to me moving out, it was actually around this time last year, from May until I want to say end of August. So May to September of 2021. Even though I moved the 1st of August, I feel that it still went into August. I had this constant numbing anxiety that just existed, and it never really prevented me from doing anything, but it was there. It definitely impacted my appetite quite a bit. But it was constantly there, and I think it's because my body knew change was coming, and change did come. I definitely experienced a lot and grew a lot as a person in the first few months of me living alone and living downtown. But it was really uncomfortable for me because I couldn't understand why I had this constant numbing anxiety. No matter what I did or what I spoke about in therapy or the amount of journaling that I did, it was kind of always just there. And it was also hard because I was getting ready to leave my childhood home and to move out officially for the first time. And to be working. I was also working my first big girl job. I started working for Green Fresh this time last year, actually. And that was scary in itself because I had never really had that much responsibility at a job before. Because before I had only really worked retail, which is a great job, but it was a different job and had different responsibilities and things that were being relied upon me. Just having some water. But needless to say, if I had never gone through those periods of growth and being uncomfortable, I would never be at the stage where I am now. And in order to be comfortable, you have to learn how to be uncomfortable. You have to become comfortable with the uncomfortable, as Michael Bosstick always says, and Lauren Everett's. I look up to them a lot and take a lot of their advice to heart. And I think you should listen to the Skinny Confidential, him and her podcast, if you haven't already. Just incredible. The guests they have on are incredible. There's actually, we're going on a side tangent over here. There is a recent episode. A lot of people were talking about it. It's a two-parter.
Being super busy can make it really easy to fall into a dinner time recipe rut, or even with your lunches. Any meal, honestly, can get you into a rut, especially with a busy schedule this fall. You can keep mealtime exciting with over 40 recipes to choose from every single week, so there's always something delicious to discover with HelloFresh. It's truly a no-brainer. It does all the shopping and meal planning for you. Ingredients arrive at your doorstep, pre-proportioned and ready to cook, along with pictured step-by-step recipe cards. It's never been easier. I personally love HelloFresh as a way to get exposure to new recipes, make my life a bit easier as a busy 20-year-old in the city. And I love that it's worry-free, it's super easy, it's convenient, and gets delivered straight to my door. Go to hellofresh.com/50ray and use code 50ray for 50% off plus free shipping. That's hellofresh.com/50RAE and use code 50ray 50RAE for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit, and thank you for sponsoring today's episode of Morning Ray.
Celebrity voice impersonation not an endorsement. Why go to a single furniture store when you can go to Big Sandy Superstore? Shop and compare America's top 5 mattress brands, plus Nectar and Purple. And choose from over 22,000 in-stock appliances from the top brands at the guaranteed lowest price. Or furnish the room of your dreams with a large selection of American-built furniture. With financing plans for just about anyone, there's nowhere else quite like it. Big Sandy Superstore.
So it was episode 457 and 458, and it's with Andrew Huberman, I think it's Huberman. And part 1 is on mastering sleep, stress, anxiety, hormones, and improving eyesight for optimal health benefits. And then part 2 is on optimal supplements, fitness routines, cold hot therapy, which you guys know I have been loving. I've been going to Othership and I do the hot sauna. It's 20 minutes. There's meditation led in there. And then I go into the ice bath, which is now 1 degree Celsius. It used to be 3. It's now 1. And I hold in there for 2 minutes. I used to be able to do up to 3 minutes. We need to work back up to that. But it's just like rejuvenating. And those 2 episodes are really great. I'm sorry I keep getting sidetracked. Maybe I need to start putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. I think I'm going to do that right now. Okay. We have it on Do Not Disturb. The point that I'm trying to get at is that I know it can really suck and it can be really scary and daunting to be in these periods of transition, whether you are transitioning your friend groups, whether you're transitioning from being in a relationship to being single, or maybe it can even be scary going from being single to being in a relationship for the first time. I mean, I don't really know. I've never really been in a long-term committed relationship, but in my experiences, it can be kind of scary at first because you're like, what the hell am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to mess this up. It can also be really scary graduating or moving schools or getting a new job or starting your first job Or maybe you're transitioning career paths. It's okay to want to change careers. Or maybe you're still in university and you decided to switch majors. It can all be really scary, especially when there's so much unknown and you're just learning and starting to get your grasp on and like get grounded. But it is totally okay and it is totally normal. And you're going to look back at this period of time in your life and you're going to be so appreciative of everything that it gave you in terms of experience, in terms of learning about others, learning about yourself, and learning how to cope in similar situations. Because once you experience something and you learn how to go through that, that gives you the tools, both the physical and the mental tool set, in order to be able to encounter those obstacles again and for them to be less daunting and easier. Or maybe sometimes they'll be a bit harder, but you'll have a bit more tools and you'll be able to grab more tools along as you go to be able to cope with getting through this period of time where you are experiencing growth. I think it can be, obviously, it's really scary. It cannot be fun to be in these periods of growth, but I think that they are essential in order for us to continue to evolve as humans, as people, as important key figures in our own lives, in other people's lives, and in society as a whole. If every single thing in our life was always the same and it never changed and we never grew as people and we were never challenged emotionally, physically, spiritually, intellectually, whatever it may be, then life would be pretty damn boring and mundane and there would never be anything exciting about it. I think the best part, I mean, like, look at Taylor Swift, how many times she's reinvented herself and gone through struggles and rebranded herself and regrew and gone through these periods of transition. It just makes yourself so much more resilient and stronger and independent. I'm going to give you some advice for those that are graduating university or college and are entering, quote unquote, the real world, because I feel that that is majority of you based on the types of questions that I get on Instagram. And I also know that it is one of the most daunting times. And I believe it's a Taylor Swift song. She says something about how you know more at 18 than you do at 22 when you're graduating school. Something along that line. I'm sorry to my Swifties if I totally butchered that, but you get the gist. When we graduate university, it can be really scary. And I will admit, it is scary, especially if you don't have a job lined up. And it can actually, no, it's just as scary. Whether you have a job lined up or you don't, or maybe you're traveling, or maybe you are doing more school, when you graduate from your undergrad, it can be really scary. Your whole life up until this point, everyone your age, for the most part, of course, there's a few people that maybe did a gap year or didn't go to school after high school, or maybe they're off doing something else or they're taking longer, etc. Up to this point, I want to say 95% of the kids your age that you had gone to school with, from kindergarten to grade 12 to university to college, whichever you call it, have been doing the same things. You've been on this production line. You go to nursery school, then you go to kindergarten, then you go to elementary school, middle school, high school, university, you get your undergrad. And then you are all in different parts of your life. Some of you are traveling, some of you are doing your master's, some of you are doing a certificate, some of you are deciding to do a serving job, some of you are deciding to go off and be your own boss right away, some of you are just bumming it out at your parents' house. And all of those things are okay, but it can be really hard to not want to compare yourself to where other people are and where you feel that you should be. And your experience is going to be uniquely your own, and it's going to be different, and you're going to go on your own journey. And it's okay if it looks different than your friends, if it looks different than that guy John in your class, or Steve, or Jessica, or Brittany, or whoever. And it's okay if it's not what you expected it to be. Mine did not turn out how I expected it to be. If you had asked me in high school where I thought I would be when I graduated from university, it would not be working at a small agency here in Toronto. It would not be partially working for myself. It would not be making 60% of my income myself. I would have thought I'd be working at a big corporate company, something like KPMG or EY or P&G or Johnson Johnson or something of that sort. A typical 9 to 5, and that being my life. But it's not, and it's different, and that's okay, and that's what makes Alana, and that's what makes me. And this is my own life and my life experiences, and if one day I end up working for a corporate company, then I end up working for a corporate company, and that's my journey to getting there. And maybe it wasn't right out of school. But just know that you are exactly where you are meant to be. And even if it feels like it sucks right now, you will understand why everything happens the way it does and as it should in the future. You'll look back on this exact moment in time and you'll be like, aha, that is why this thing happened, so that this could happen, and so that that could happen, etc. When I look back on my whole university experience, even going down to the transfer process, if you're a newer listener, I transferred universities after my second year. So I was at Wilfrid Laurier University in Waterloo from during first year and second year. I was in the business administration program there. And I decided in June after second year to apply to transfer to Ryerson, which is now Toronto Metropolitan University, which literally sounds like a bus stop, but that's okay, TMU. I'm still going to call it Ryerson. I decided that I wanted to transfer to Ryerson in June, got accepted in July, have to accept within a week, and then went to Ryerson from fall 2019, so the beginning of my third year, until last fall, so fall 2021. And I do not regret any single decision. I do not regret transferring. I do not regret choosing to go to Laurier first, because I feel like all the lessons that I had and all the events that happened is what led me to where I am today. If I hadn't had gone to Laurier, I don't think I would have started my fitness account. If I hadn't been feeling like I didn't fit in and looking for some sort of comfort and friends online, I don't think I would have had continued to be so consistent with.
Being super busy can make it really easy to fall into a dinner time recipe rut, or even with your lunches. Any meal, honestly, can get you into a rut, especially with a busy schedule this fall. You can keep mealtime exciting with over 40 recipes to choose from every single week, so there's always something delicious to discover with HelloFresh. It's truly a no-brainer. It does all the shopping and meal planning for you. Ingredients arrive at your doorstep, pre-proportioned and ready to cook, along with pictured step-by-step recipe cards. It's never been easier. I personally love HelloFresh as a way to get exposure to new recipes, make my life a bit easier as a busy 20-year-old in the city. And I love that it's worry-free, it's super easy, it's convenient, and gets delivered straight to my door. Go to hellofresh.com/50ray and use code 50ray for 50% off plus free shipping. That's hellofresh.com/50RAE and use code 50ray 50RAE for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit, and thank you for sponsoring today's episode of Morning Ray.
This is the smell of a warm 3-day-old egg salad sandwich in a wimpy trash bag.
Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy!
Blech. And this is the smell of that same sandwich in a hefty, ultra-strong trash bag with new Fabuloso lemon scent.
Hefty, hefty, hefty!
Smell the difference? When life gives you stinky, get Hefty Ultra Strong with new Fabuloso lemon scent. It smells like clean, freshly picked lemons. So no matter what's inside your trash, you can stop the stink and smell the lemon.
My Instagram, which means I wouldn't have had my Instagram, I wouldn't have started this podcast and I would most likely not be at the job or having the career that I do, and I most likely wouldn't have moved into an apartment and out of my parents' home at 21, because my goal was originally by 25, because that's what my sister did. So needless to say, get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Know that this growing pain is only going to make you stronger, more resilient, more independent, more capable, smarter, and more capable. I think I already said capable. And that you are not alone in this. This is totally normal. Your 20s are there for you to discover yourself in a variety of different facets, whether it be in who you are as a person, personally, in your career, in your relationships, in your interests, in your sexuality, whatever it may be. Or maybe it's religion too. Maybe you decide you want to be more spiritual, or maybe you want to convert to a different religion. Who knows? Your 20s are there for you to experiment, to learn, to grow, to have 1,000,001 seasons of transition, to have 1,000,001 different growing pains. And just know whatever's meant to be will be. And if you keep having quote unquote bad things happen to you, no, bad things come in threes. So after 3, expect something good. And just also know that in order to be pushed forward, we have to be pulled back. So usually before something really good is about to happen, you might feel really low, or you might be struggling a little bit, and then you'll have a really great moment, and life will continue to be really interesting and great, but just keep pushing forward. You've got this. I believe in you. My DMs are always, always open. And I'm going to wrap this episode up because it's already quite long. I mean, I've been liking to keep them a bit on the shorter side. It's already 37 minutes that I've been recording. So I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I know it was a little bit all over the place. I hope I didn't say too much. I really tried not to. And if you like this episode, make sure to leave a rating. If you're on Spotify, if you're on Apple Podcasts, you can leave a rating and a review if you'd like. I would really appreciate it. That's how you can help support the podcast. I love you guys so incredibly much. And thank you again for listening, and I can't wait for the next episode, and big, big things are coming to the pod, and I'm excited for you to come along with me on the journey. If you want to follow along on my moving journey, moving into my new apartment, definitely check out my YouTube channel. It's always linked in the show notes. I will have a 2-part series preparing for the move and then the actual move itself. So the first part should be up already as of yesterday, Sunday. My upload's on Sundays, so check that out, and then stay tuned for next Sunday for the reveal of moving into the apartment and what things are looking like. And I'm really excited to show you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, I love you so much, and we'll chat soon. Bye, guys.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
You can have it all. Great pay, awesome benefits, a flexible schedule, the chance to grow. At Cox, we're recruiting auto and diesel technicians to join our Mannheim and Fleet Services teams. If you're ready for a new job, and want to experience an award-winning workplace? Drive your career forward with us. Visit cox.career/autotech to learn more. That's cox.career/autotech.